a lot of trouble in Barcelona camp?
Well, Barcelona seem to be a team that is really troubled right now. The board will have to do a lot because Messi is seriously disgruntled right now. He's not happy with the set of players they have, and the performance of the team last season, which heralded in the humiliating defeat by Bayern Munich. It kind of culminated in all the grievances this guy has had, and honestly speaking, if you look at the quality of players that have been signed, they are not players you say that have lived up to expectations. That you would think will be able to provide that quality. And then look at the ages of the players in Barcelona. So it tells you that football is a game for young people. And so when people begin to cross 30, 33, and you have a large chunk of the players already above 30, the results might not be what you expect to see. So it's going to be a tough one because when a player settles back to your team, grudgingly, you need a lot to do to be able to convince this player to see that, look, we will make amends, we will sign quality players. You can see a lot of players are going to go out from that team. So we're expecting to see new players, being signed in. And we know Messi has always played a role in deciding who comes to Barcelona and the kind of players that he feels would really, really fit into the team. So with the way things are right now, I think a lot of damage control is being done right now to ensure that this aggrieved superstar is actually made to understand that, look, your contract term stands, so you can't go out of your contract. And so if that is the case, Messi has no option. He just need to fit into the team and work with the team. But I see a lot of players leaving Barcelona, and then some new players are actually going to be arriving.
Now we have Ugumsinachi Emole just joined us. Ugumsinachi, before you make your reaction, let's join Odunze. Odunze, what is your take on this whole Messi saga?
Yeah, can you guys hear me?
Yes, we
We
can.
can hear you.
Okay, yeah. You know, I was of the opinion that Messi would never leave Barcelona. I was actually quite shocked to realize that the news was true that he wanted to leave. But realistically, it was always going to be near impossible uh, if that release clause was in place. That was a major problem. But now we've seen that it is actually in place, and he's done the sensible thing by not wanting to take the club to court. Like he said, this is a club that he grew up with. The only club he's played for. His family love Barcelona and are not ready to go anywhere. He said his kids started crying once he told them about the move. So now, what will be interesting is what's going to happen between now and next summer. Are they going to beg him and convince him to sign a new contract, or is this his last year? I know that, and I believe that Messi is professional enough to give it all, as long as he wears that shirt. The club deserves that respect, and he also deserves that to see his legacy as one of the best ever players to have played the game. So it will be interesting to see how the last season goes. Let's see who will win between now and next summer, who will win the battle to get him signed, either PSG or the likes of City or even Juventus or any of the big clubs in the world. Let's see who will win that battle to get his signature before next summer.
Now, Ugumsinachi, what is your take on Arsenal sacrificing the likes of Lacazette and Torreira just to get Thomas Partey? Is it worth it?
Arsenal are in a very precarious situation um, because the club has given everybody the what I call it, the notion that they are a poor club, they don't have the money and they have to sell to buy. If you were to believe that, then at some point you have to sacrifice some players to be able to get what you need. Lacazette is a player that I personally think is defensible. He's a very good player, no doubt. He's a very quality, he's a quality forward. But he just hasn't delivered enough goals, as far as I'm concerned, for me, in 3 or 4 years that he's been with the club. Um, but he complements and makes up for that with the work that he does with holding up play and all that. But he's 29, and if the club decides to sell him to raise money to sign a player like Thomas Partey, I would not shed a tear for that. Torreira is an excellent player. I love him a lot, but he even last year mentioned that he hasn't quite settled in England. That's the main problem. It's not like he's a bad player, or it's just that his family they are homesick. Italy works well better for guys from Uruguay than England. So he wants to move to a more familiar place, and his family also want to move, and that's really the main thing with Torreira. So if they decide to sell him, and I think they will, yeah, that will be the main reason for that. And please let me add something to what you guys said about Yaya Toure. What Tony said. He said that Yaya Toure did is a bit of a disgrace to Africa. I beg to differ. When players do this kind of stuff in Europe, we don't say it's a disgrace to Europe. It's a disgrace to Yaya Toure, and that's it. What he does, he will bear it. Let's not drag Africa into it because that's what the British press and the rest of them usually do, and we have to defend our. Or if anybody makes that kind of mistake or shows that kind of indiscretion, let them bear it. Let's not label the whole country or the whole continent with that. I just wanted to mention that.
Well, it's good, but it's not like fighting back. When they do well, it's Africa. These are ambassadors. They represent us out there. So when they do well, we are part of it. We as Africa, we want to.
Tony, that's not it.
They do for themselves and Africa as well.
When they don't do well.
Why will you tag it to Africa? Why will you tag it to Africa?
I understand they say success has
why
to be brothers.
Why will you want to say it to? No, Tony, you are wrong. Just say you're wrong.
On Facebook, I saw this comment from Chimezie Anderson. He said Barcelona bought are holding Messi hostage for all his services to them rendered for the past 20 years. They haven't handled this in the best professional way. Did anyone else see? He's asking whether we saw an interview on one of the football side. I don't think Messi is. They are holding hostage in any way.
I think the issue about Messi is a problem with Barcelona not dealing with their issues right on time. It's just like doing business and the best of your best of hands are leaving and you do absolutely nothing. Xavi in yesterday left. Those are the fulcrum of both the Spanish national team and the Barcelona lineup. And when you look at their exit from international football, it's affecting Spain. The same way it's affecting Barcelona. So they didn't fortify. I give an example. Look at their closest rival in Spain, Madrid. See what Madrid does. Madrid have aging legs. But look at their bench. You see that they have plans for the next 10 years. Barcelona doesn't. And these are the things Messi was crying out when people were frying him that he was trying to have issues with, what's his name, Eric Abidal, who was the sporting director. Do you understand? So I think this matter is a case of we've forgotten that we have broken into a particular realm in world football that we need to maintain our pace. As far as I'm concerned, it's a problem with the Barcelona management. Now, Messi, for me, should respect his contract. Finish his contract. But if he says he doesn't want, he should pay the release clause. Simple.
That is unrealistic. And
it's a bit tricky because for me, any player, once you are signed, you are under contract. Your contractual agreement is binding. So whether you take it to any court of arbitration or whatever, you will not get out of it. So the only way I think Messi can get out of this is through negotiation. He still needs to negotiate with his board. They need to lower his buyout clause. If they don't lower his buyout clause, there is no way Messi is going to leave Barcelona. He will play and retire in Barcelona because, as he's aging, no sane club will want to cough out, that huge amount of money. When a player has crossed 33, you're actually looking at, 2 years more, 3 years more maximum. And then the player retires. So at that stage, are you going to be saying, for a player of Messi's caliber, you want to pay that kind of amount? I would rather want to buy 3 fantastic players, you understand, that are young, they're in their 20s, than to have just one Messi. It doesn't for that amount.
Messi has just started.
So it doesn't make that sense.
Let's know who is on the phone line. Hello, good morning. You may have to call us back. Now we have someone talking to us on Facebook. His name is Steven Bemi. Okay, Bami. He say hi local room. He say good morning. Just to thank you guys for a great job on Dream FM. Please extend this program to Sunday evening.
These guys are loving. They are loving this program. That's fantastic.
Don't worry, we'll give you Church Dream FM.
Just take this one from William Sketch. He said, "It's not certain that Barca can't exist well without Messi. Imagine if the club were in dilemma just because he wanted to leave. It's better they set him free now and build the team without him. For me, Barca will still go down when he finally leaves." Kudos to you guys.
Let's know if anyone is calling 090-200-2925. Hello, who is on the line? The phone line is acting up. Okay, now, and George, let's get back to you. How is Chelsea going to line up? They've got Kai Havertz, you've got Hakim Ziyech, you've got Thiago Silva, of course, is going to be at the heart of defense. Yeah. Now, I understand why William has to run. He just had to take a dog. Now, what happens to Callum Hudson-Odoi? Of course, he's not going to be the first. He's not going to be a first choice player now. Absolutely. How is Frank Lampard condemned to win the league next season?
Well, they said to whom much is given, much is expected. Yes. Abramovich has given a lot, and so he's going to be expecting a lot from Frank Lampard. Right now, the Chelsea team is like a new team. So I would not expect to see, if you ask me, what's my expectation of Frank Lampard this coming season? I would say I don't expect him to win the league. You know why? When you bring in players like this, it also takes time to gel your player to be a team. So let us not judge Frank Lampard, when the team is still trying to gel and understand themselves. So I would say this season, I would still want to give Frank Lampard a top 4 finish. But if he eventually competes and wins the league, for me it would be icing on the cake.
But looking at what he said, football is a game where not only one person plays. That's where I've always aligned my philosophy with Arsene Wenger, that says I should scrap what football of the year, because it's a team game, one person taking glory for what 11 people did, or about 16 people did on the pitch of play. Now, what he's talking about, Frank Lampard, he has new sets of boys. At some point he was crying that that the league is about to start too soon. Do you understand? Now, there's no preseason. More like, because of the COVID-19 issue. So I think I support what he said. Give him time. If he happens to hit top 4, he wins anything, lovely, but he will need time. These are fresh legs. These are people that will have to coming in from a different football philosophy, from different countries, to get to blend into what is happening in England. And believe me, if you do well in England, you most likely will do well any other place playing football.
Ogumsinachi Odunze, a lot of people managers don't have time at Arsenal. You just stay 1 year, 2 years. If you're not doing well, the owner doesn't have patience to stay with you for like this, a long project. And that is why they are one of the most successful team in England since Abramovich took over. Now, what do you think will be used to judge Frank Lampard? Mikel Arteta, of course, few months at Arsenal, he's given them 2 trophies. Frank Lampard took Chelsea to the Champions League spot against all odds. Now,
got to the finals of the FA Cup as well,
and Arsenal defeated them, pushed them aside. Now, how will they be judged? How will he be judged at the end of the season, Frank Lampard?
Well, like you rightly mentioned, at Chelsea has always been, what have you won? What trophies have you won? That's Abramovich for you. You see the way he brought out money, and they bought 6 very, very good defending players. And so all he wants is, at the end of the season, what have you done with the players? What have you won with them? George can speak grammar and talk about giving him top 4 finish and all that. Abramovich is not thinking that. Abramovich is thinking, what was the return on the money that I spent? You have to give me trophies, or you have to, even if you don't win, you have to get to finals. You have to show signs that is a team that's making very considerable progress. They bought young players, but they've bought experienced young players that have delivered at the highest level. So I would expect Lampard to knit that team together and actually achieve results this season, because football is a cutthroat game, like we know. If by the middle of the season they're not up there, expect that Abramovich is going to step in and look for somebody else.
Definitely, Ogumsnatch will always come for George, and we'll give George the time to react to that. But let's take our Facebook comment. A lot of persons are talking. Elijah Ekbe, he says, a very good morning to you guys, the Gladiators. Well, it is not a surprise that Messi is staying back, because in is a real scene. No one can match his real clause. Okay, so he's saying Messi is staying back because no one can match his release clause.
Yes, let's take this one from Kenneth Kevin. He said, good morning, guys. It did not come as a surprise to me that he was finally going to stay back at Barcelona despite his eagerness to go. His release clause was too much, and we know the club will be able to afford that because no club will be able to afford that because of the financial fair play. Moreover, if he still wants to leave, he should stay back and honor his remaining contract, which is just remaining a year, and then walk away for free without any issue.
All right, and we have Amobi Flo. He says, good morning, guys. I know, and I also believe that Messi won't go anywhere, especially when La Liga back Barcelona. Let's know who is on the phone line. Hello. Let's just continue to roll.
Yes, this one from Oche Jude Mary said, good morning, locker room. It's a wise decision to stay in Barcelona till the end of the season. Things may not be as good as it used to be with him. At least England teams are now happy that City did not sign him this season. I'm very happy that he's not coming to our noisy neighbor up Manchester United. The fear of Messi.
Yeah, and you have we have a phone call before George react to Gumsinachis. Hello, good morning. Hello. Oh, we lost that. Now, your take on Ogumsinachi.
Honestly, Ogumsinachi made a very valid point. Abramovich, when you invest, you expect return on investment. He obviously is going to be waiting to see what is Lampard bringing back for all this spending. Yeah, for me, yes, Chelsea might not win the league, but there are other tournaments that Chelsea needs to show that this signing has come to improve. For instance, the Champions League. If you ask me, I will want to set at the least a quarter-final showing for Chelsea with the signing they have in the Champions League. Yeah, and then for the FA Cup and the other cup, I need to see Chelsea get to the finals of those cups. So whether they win it or not, but at least let them show that this signing has actually turned the team around. So that's exactly what Ogum is saying. Abramovich will also be looking at that. And again, one thing that Ogum also said that I believe 100% is correct. When we go half the season, if Chelsea is not where they ought to be, I see a sacking of Frank Lampard.
Would that be fair?
I can believe.
Or would that be fair?
Well,
Abramovich
it will be fair. Let me tell you why it will be fair. If Lampard can take young lads, relatively unknown,
to top four,
now you sign top class players, what class players, and then you don't get to top four, my brother, go home.
There's something Ugo said. He said this team, they signed smart players. They need time to gel. You talk about what he achieved last season. He had the whole time to build that team. Went for preseason. The team struggled. He used that time to build. This time, these players are coming from other leagues. He took this guy from Championship, Tammy Abraham. He's already known the English, the Premier League. So they all came in, knew what they are supposed to do. Struggled. Yes, he achieved top four, but he struggled. It wasn't that easy for him. So that patience you are talking about, he needs it. Probably towards the half of the season, if you sack him that time when the team is just getting to the point where they will start gelling, I don't think it will be fair. They recruited smartly. They signed players that are into their prime, others that are getting into their prime, and players that will improve the ones they have already. I think let's just forget what happens this season. If Abramovich will agree, let this guy finish the season. I'm sure he'll qualify for Champions League. If he gets to win maybe the FA Cup, then that would be a plus. But sacking him midway would be so unfair.
But I like that your phrase. If Abramovich will agree. We are in a generation that is on a speed lane. Nobody has the patience to wait. Everybody's talking about result. That's the problem.
And that is why Chelsea are where they are now, winning a lot of trophies. Now, let's know who is on the line. Hello, good morning. Hello.
Soldier, Echo, calling you from Nanka.
Go ahead.
Rangers for life, Chelsea forever.
All right. All right. Who do we have on the line? In the absence, let's go back to Onyebuchi and Brendan. He says Messi is not happy. Stay Barcelona. Back and make sure they get everything and they get every kobo spent on him. Baka will not know peace this coming season. Wow. All right, go ahead.
Hello, good morning.
Hello. And the phone line is acting up. Let's see if we have another one on the line. We have Austin Jr. say good morning, locker room gladiators. Tony, you just took me off from there. I was reading the comment and Tony.
Sorry. Okay, take that one again.
You have
Austin
Austin
Jr.
Jr. who says good morning, locker room gladiators. Is a great one. At least let him finish his contract at Barcelona and moreover, it is a great player, and leaving the club like that won't be nice.
Definitely, and let's not forget that UEFA Nations Cup, Nations League was on yesterday. Italy played 1-1 with Bosnia-Herzegovina, and also Netherlands secured a 1-0 win over Poland.
Don't run too fast. Italy, Bosnia-Herzegovina. It underlines one thing: name does not play football.
Name never does play.
But what's happening to Italy?
That's the point.
There has been a major decline
Name
in the
does
national
not
team.
even Netherlands, Poland. Name does not play football. It's about how good you are on the night. That's just as simple as that.
We just hope that England will be good when they up against Iceland. Iceland and England, they have that thing. The moment they defeated England, remember the last Euro, Iceland became more like the big team in Europe. Now they are up against them. Iceland will be playing at home against England. Denmark versus Belgium, Portugal, Croatia, Sweden, France, and Germany. Of course, it was 1-1 with Spain.
And your man got a goal.
Yeah,
George.
I was really happy to see Timo Werner,
Do his thing.
touch the ball and then put it back in. I think all Chelsea fans that watched that game would have been saying, "Oh my God, this is a good signing." Just to say that, you raised the issue of Hudson-Odoi and all that. I think the new signing for me is a good thing happening to Chelsea. Hudson-Odoi, yes, we know that he had injuries, but he had not been able to live up to that expectation, the hype, and the way he played before. So these players coming to Chelsea, for me, is a wake-up call. You don't have a starting shirt in the Chelsea lineup if your game is not an A game. So that is what I think the Chelsea players. Yes.
All right. Before we take Tony, hold on. Let's give you a chance to come clean on this. You are always critical of Mikel Arteta. So now, do you believe he's a good coach, or still is he just stumbling into luck?
Listen, I'm not saying I've never said he's not a good coach. All I said was that Arsenal, for a club like Arsenal, I think the person that benefited most from the whole thing is Arteta, from an assistant coach to Pep Guardiola to a top coach.
That's not what we are saying, Tony. Currently,
on paper,
now
I wouldn't have probably. Yes,
no,
he's done well.
Not,
what he has brought to Arsenal right now is what they've lacked over the years: fighting. Arsenal play good football, but
Tony,
they don't fight.
You are running away from this.
What did I run away from
now? Is it? Do you now have the chance? Now, is he a good coach at Arsenal? Before now,
I never said he was a bad coach. So why?
But you said it's not at Arsenal level. That was what you said. But now,
I said a big club like Arsenal will have gone for a big name
for Brendan Rodgers.
For someone that has
So invariably,
I cited Ancelotti at Everton. If Everton can get a manager like Ancelotti,
that is a paraphrase. That's a paraphrase that Mikel Arteta is not at Arsenal's level.
What I don't understand is Tony talking about Brendan Rodgers. That they should have chosen Rodgers. Yes, you said so. We can pull the up end of Tony.
Rodgers was good.
If you said you did not say Rodgers, I will go to my village for you.
No, nobody. I'm telling you, there's no pundits that will have looked at Arsenal and said, "Oh, you going for Rodgers was a bad move."
For me, it's a bad one.
I think it wasn't. They have Pochettino, who has done well for Tottenham Hotspur, and we know him very well to be doing the dirty work. What Arsenal needs is a manager that can do the dirty work. But what I think why they went for Arteta was, of course, just like Ugomunachi said, the impression that they don't have money. So they've looked into their purse and discovered that.
Yeah. But finally, let me just add this to that to this argument. I think if you look at the Man City team, the moment Arteta left Pep Guardiola, Man City is no longer the Man City we used to know. So what does that tell you? It tells you this guy was the brain behind most of the tete-a-tete and the tiki-taka. Wait, hold on. So now, let me tell you, he has translated that technical acumen. He has also translated that technical acumen, looking at the team he's handling now, which is Arsenal. I mean, for a coach taking on a team, you won the FA Cup, and you won the Shield. What he can only get better. That's the only thing I can say.
Now, Ugomunachi, as we go, what do you have to say to Tony?
Thank you very much, Ugomunachi. Thank you very much.
Tony, just try. This is an opportunity for you to make up for that that massive error you made.
But you agreed on that,
sorry, I read this guy wrong. I underrated him. He's actually better than I thought.
Okay, I solemnly swear that I read him wrong. I read him wrong, and he's a good coach.
Yeah. Gomsinachi, Tony has apologized. Thank you for doing this one with us, Gomsinachi. We want to say thank you to everybody who has been following us on Facebook, seeing us live. Good one looking out to Eki George, Gomsinachi, Mole, Tony, and myself.
Thank
you, Mr. Alex.
Alex, of course, Obodo is just the one doing everything right. We'll get to see you. That should be next week. Don't go nowhere.